Hello, beautiful humans and bad bitches. I have a special episode for you. Rocio Cortez, she is a blue belt at 10th Planet Austin. She is a bad bitch, owns her own firearms, trains every day, trains MMA, competes. So she has a lot of insight for women looking to get into the sport. This interview happened in October of 2023. Life got so hectic for me at the end of the year, and I'm just now getting it up. So thank you for the patience, Rocio. Enjoy this. We talk about hot topics within jiu-jitsu. So enjoy. What are some signs of a good gym versus a bad gym?
Feel free to ask, like, are there women that usually come here? Are there women my size?
Being a little bit of a bully to you, or just someone else in the gym giving you weird energy, how do you handle those situations?
Getting comfortable with like handling a firearm. And that was even someone from Texas. I do have my own gun, but like it's a gun, it's kind of scary.
All right, jiu-jitsu fans, I have a special guest. It is Rocio Cortez, also known as Rockin' Rocio on Instagram and on TikTok. She is doing a great job pushing out her content, but not only that, keeping the grind going throughout all of jiu-jitsu, MMA, sheepdog response experience. So you've been doing it all. But first, I want to start out with what got you into combat sports in general.
I've always been really passionate about combative sports, but I didn't even know how to enter that world. And of course, coming up from a Latin background, I was just very into school. My parents really pushed school, school, school. So I did everything you're supposed to do. Went to college, went off to do my undergrad, graduated with my bachelor's, and I'm like, all right, like I did it. Now I want to do what I want to do. And it was my birthday simultaneously. So I was like, okay, let me Google the nearest martial arts gym. And then there was a jiu-jitsu gym in a small town near me in Pleasanton, Texas called Be Quick Jiu-Jitsu. I went, they had a free trial. I did a week of Taekwondo and then a week of Jiu-Jitsu. And I think it's like my little man syndrome. Um, People are like you will probably won't last. And so that really made me want to keep coming back and showing up and like, yeah, I made it. I'm here. And it was rough. They had a really great kids team and a lot of 13-year-old, 12-year-olds that were just kicking my ass. And it was very humbling. So it made me keep coming back. And yeah, I just became obsessed after that.
And so you started at that gym, and I think you were living outside of Austin for a while, but what made you find out about the 10th Planet system? And what was it about 10th Planet that you were like, oh, I want to try that system?
I fell in love with the sport for the sport. I didn't actually know how big and how popular it was. So I heard of 10th Planet, but I didn't know 10th Planet. And crazy enough, the gym that I started training at was a primarily no gi gym. And so I told them, I'm like, hey, I'm leaving to grad school. Like, I hate to leave this gym, but I can't keep making this drive. It's like 2 hours apart. So I was like, is there any other place that you recommend? I was asking my coach, and he's like, I would suggest you go to 10th Planet. They're right there. So just, they're predominantly no-gi, just like we are. There's a lot of people your size. I think you're going to get great training there. And so he's the one that recommended 10th Planet. And yeah, that's the only gym I've gone to that I'm so fortunate to go. It's like they're everywhere. There's 10th Planets everywhere. So every time I go traveling, I'm like, what's the nearest gym? So it's really fun.
I feel like your 10th Planet is special in the sense that it's so big and you have other things going on there other than just jujitsu. But I want to talk about like the tiny girls that you have there as well, because I feel like that plays such a role in like being able to get good rolls all the time and not feeling like you're in danger if you're rolling with like a bigger white belt. So how important has it been to have training partners that are around your size?
Insanely important. I don't think I would have progressed as much as I have if I hadn't been training with girls my size and of my caliber and even like higher. Obviously, when I came in, I was a white belt, but there are women that are black, brown belts, purple belts, blue belts. Even the blue belts are killers, honestly. So having people my size and of this variety of skill level has progressed my skill.
And who would you say you look up to most in terms of emulating their style or their teaching style in your own game?
Right off the bat, the first person that comes to mind is Lauren Sears.
I knew you were going to say that.
I
I saw that
love
she was coaching you at one of your tournaments. I was like, I'm sure you pick up a lot from her game.
Yes, I don't even know. I don't even think she knows this, but like I'll like watch some of her stuff and I'm like, "Oh, that's really cool." And I like just keep rewinding, watching, rewinding, watching. Because we're very similar in size, but there's a lot of girls at my gym that are my size. And so there's a lot of girls that I look up to. In terms of MMA, I would say Amber too. Amber's a killer. So she definitely inspires me, and her intensity, her ruthlessness, it's good. Her technique is flawless. So I would say Lauren Sears is my jiu-jitsu girl, and Amber Vicious is my MMA girl.
And this is kind of a hot topic in jujitsu. I guess it shouldn't be really, but what is your idea on cross training? And I know you're already so busy with your schedule, so you probably don't have time to go to other gyms and stuff. But if you did, like, what were your thoughts about cross training? Does that feel like you're kind of backstabbing the people that you currently train with or the coaches you work with? Or do you think of it as an opportunity to just get different skills from different mindsets and different gyms?
I actually didn't think that was a controversial thing. It felt controversial right off the bat when I was switching from my first gym to my second gym. I mean, obviously, I couldn't keep training there for logistical reasons. I moved away. There was no way I can train somewhere that was 2 hours from me. So that was the only time it felt that way. But when it comes to cross training, everyone promotes it. Like a lot of the coaches are like totally okay with it because what you learn over there, you kind of bring back here. And it's like, hey man, went to so and so's open mat, rolled with this girl, learned this really cool move. Like check this out. So I would say in terms of cross training, it's not controversial here at all. I think even at 10th Planet, we really um, promote it or like encourage it. We have a lot of people from Six Blades, B Team, Roca. They all come to our open mats, and it's really fun.
I love that. I love that there's no like exclusivity about it or, teams versus teams off the mat. I don't think that's necessary, but I do know that like in the past and even sometimes currently some coaches are very territorial about who their fighters go work with and I don't know. I guess it gets a little bit more dicey too when it's like an MMA coach and they want to feel like they're the one and only with their student. But anyway, I did see that you were doing this really cool activity camp thing with Tim Kennedy, Sheepdog. What is that about? I mean, it looked really intense, a little bit intimidating if you're, a California hippie over here that doesn't really have guns. Never, I've held one or two, when I was a teenager. So, what is the purpose of that program that you did, and some of the biggest things you learned?
The purpose of it, I say, is self defense, and this one was just geared towards women. And so some girls from the gym were going, and I'm like, yeah, I really want to go. I think every girl at some point or another has been uncomfortable to the point where you're kind of like, I really wish I felt a little bit more safe, whether that was with another person or within my own ability to defend myself if that situation were to get to that point. And so this program was being offered. I immediately was like, yes, let's go do this. And I don't know. I learned so much. We start off with situational awareness, and because I have dealt with these things before, um, I had to ask like, well, how do you get to the point of not being paranoid all the time? Like, am I being followed? Is this person stalking me? And so they definitely emphasize live your life the way you want to live. Just be cautious. Just be aware of your surroundings, know where you're at. uh, like, so if you needed to give an address, you can share your location with someone, or like your attire. Like, I know I have heels on, like I know I'm already at a disadvantage, right? What side of town am I on? Can I get an Uber? Like, just being situationally aware of your surroundings. So that was the first day. The second day was intro to jujitsu, common moves should someone be trying to choke you or hold you down. Like, we learned really good counters, and then also getting comfortable with uh, like handling a firearm. And that was, even someone from Texas. I do have my own gun, but like, it's a gun. It's kind of scary. So I got more comfortable handling it and not being so afraid of this piece of equipment. So Yeah, they did a really good job. It was awesome. I kind of want to do part two already. So I got
It
the
looks so awesome.
I got the sheepdog blues because I was already missing it. I was like, man, it was intense. It was the most intense weekend ever. We were all just dead, but that bond that we had, just like, man, we made it through to the end. So it was great.
I love that. And I really do love how the girls at 10 Planet Austin, you guys just seem to do a lot of things together. Cool that you guys do things as a team, like extracurricular things, not just in the gym. How long did it take you to kind of build those relationships with the girls there? Or was it kind of like immediately like, oh, we're going to be friends outside the gym too?
It took a while, but it's also because of the adjustment. Like, I had a really busy life. I'm in grad school. I'm driving. I lived in San Marcos at the time because that's where Texas State is. And so it's about a 35-minute drive. So I still would like, I wasn't able to hang out all the time. They would invite me and I couldn't go. So it took a while for those relationships to build, but I wanted them. Like, I kept showing up. Immediately when I first started going there, super nice, super welcoming. But when it came to doing things together outside of jujitsu, it came together once I was added to the girls group chat. So we got a girls group chat. And every time we have like a new member, if I meet them at the women's class, I introduce myself, make them feel super comfortable. And I'm like, if you start coming, like, give me your Instagram. Like, let me just add you to the girls group chat. And so everyone's super included. We talk about things just for us girls about the gym, or even like, hey, I'm showing up to this afternoon. Anyone else going? Because it does suck when like no one else goes. That's your size. But like when it's outside of the gym, like, hey, we're all gonna go to Barton tonight. Like, just throwing the invite out there if you want to come swing
Oh,
by.
wait, I love that place. I've been to Barton Springs. Is that if that was what you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, I love that place. Dude, Texas just seems like the ultimate vibe when it comes to the outdoor nature stuff.
Yes. Austin is my most favorite place I've ever lived. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's so much fun here.
I love that. But it also seems like back home is super like sweet and close to the heart because I saw that you live like on a farm, right? Like you have
I
animals and stuff.
Yeah, I lived on my dad's ranch right before I graduated from undergrad. So I lived on his ranch for about 2 years. He had a little room inside a barn, and so I just got really familiar with living with cows. So that was, and I worked for my dad at the same time. So it was cool whenever I didn't have to be in the office. He's like, "Hey, I need help at the ranch. Can you come?" And I'm like, "Yes, let's go." So he would show me how to use the tractor, hook up equipment. I learned everything.
Let's talk about your journey to Blue Belt. First competition, what was it like? And like, what are your goals in terms of competing? Or do you prefer to just kind of keep it as like, oh, I'll compete when I can, more of a jujitsu hobbyist? Or, what was that journey like, on the road to competing?
On the road to competing, I actually competed very, very early. I started competing 3 months in. But that was also because I had just graduated college and I didn't have anything else to do. And I was like, okay, this is my new class. So Monday through Friday, I would go train. And then on the weekend, if once I was like getting more familiar with the people, they started inviting me to open mats in San Antonio. So I would go to open mat in San Antonio on the weekend. So 3 months in, I started doing my first comp. It was Naga, and it was just against one other girl because at the time I weighed 103 pounds. So it was just against a 115er, and then I won. And then I did another one, and I won that one too. And I did another one, I won that one too. And I'm like, huh, this is pretty cool. But it just didn't feel like I won because it was just against one person. Everyone else does brackets of people. And I didn't experience that until this year. Once I started gaining more weight, um, I started reaching 115, but I still had to go against someone that was 125 because there just was no one in the 115, at least in these local competitions, right? So I actually signed up for ADCC Open Austin for December. So I'm excited about that one.
Oh my gosh, you're doing an ADCC Open. So you're going to be like that. Those matches can go up to 10 minutes, right?
I don't even know. I don't know.
Yeah, or it might be a little bit less for like blue belts and under or something, but that's exciting. So are you like excited to work on your wrestling stuff or
What?
gonna
Yeah.
go in and like pull guard? Like you don't have to give out all the way your details away, I know, but
Well, since I came over and started training more this year, I've noticed an increase in wrestling when it comes to competition and I don't know, just more popularity within the jiu-jitsu world. You just kept seeing all these wrestlers just dominate on the takedown. So I started becoming obsessed with that. So I started taking wrestling from 10 to 11, jiu-jitsu 11 to 12, open mats 12 to 1. So just nonstop
Oh
training.
my gosh.
I haven't done that in a minute, but that was my routine for like 6 months.
I love that. And I love that you're able to kind of carve out the schedule that you want because you do a lot of content creation. So a lot of that work is, sitting at a computer. You could work at a coffee shop. You could work at home. You can work from your phone. So tell me a little bit about how you got into that space and how you managed to make it into an occupation.
It was actually a really good friend of mine. She actually was doing content and brought me along with her and was kind of like not, how if you make content, you have those days where you're just not liking how any of the pictures are coming out. And I was like, can I help? And so I started helping with taking photos, getting together stuff. And I was learning a lot from her in terms of like putting together outfits and making it very, I don't know, fun on social media. So that's how I just started doing it. I tell a lot of people, like, you don't really know this about me, but I was actually an art major as well. So when it comes to being creative and doing all these things, like artsy, I love it. I just couldn't find a career out of it. So I switched careers and became a bio major. But now full circle, here I am doing it again, right? Just a bunch of creative work. Now I'm doing a bunch of video editing and photo shoots and graphic design, and like I'm just fully immersed in it now.
Yes, I saw some of the graphic designs you're doing. It's with the Thursday night jujitsu competitions. So first, tell me about your experience competing with Thursday night jujitsu, and then how it translated and became a job working like on the production team with them.
So starting off, I actually wasn't even a 10th Planet member yet. I was just coming because this was the only training I can get as a grad student. I would just come to 10 round Tuesdays, and like I think I opened mat on the weekend. And one of the coaches was like, "Hey, you should sign up for Thursday night." And I'm like, "All right." Immediately, yes. Like I did it. I signed up for it. And I hadn't trained. I took a break. I hadn't trained for like about 9 months, and I'm just now starting to train again. And I think it was, who was it? I forgot who told me that, but I signed up for Thursday night. I competed. I won. It was great. It was so awesome. The experience. They have the lights. It's someone that's holding like a little iPhone camera, and it was just a really cool experience. I was so grateful for it, and I'm actually having another one coming up too. So I think everyone should
Oh,
sign up for Thursday nights. They're free. Like, why aren't you getting that competition experience? And it's really fun. And you can have your family come, or they could watch it live on YouTube. Um, I don't know. It was just really fun. I'm still doing it. So
yes. And it adds that extra element of pressure. Like, yeah, it's still in the gym and you're comfortable in that way, but there's the lights, the cameras. I think 10th Planet, Torrance or Dark Arts, they did something similar. And it was the first competition I ever did like unintentionally. I got high before. Um, but it was still like a very like comfortable like area, much more comfortable than like maybe a Naga or Jiu-Jitsu World League would be to be in that state of mind. So I'm so happy that you found that. So I want to talk about some hot topics. What are your red flags in a gym versus your green flags in a gym? If you're like talking to a girl right now who has no experience getting into jujitsu, what are some signs of a good gym versus a bad gym? Or maybe a gym that's not good for them.
mm, I tell every girl to never sign up for a gym just right off the bat. Like, try their free trials. A lot of the time they'll work with you. They'll either give you a day or 3 days or even a week. Do it. Like, just go and check it out. And feel free to ask, like, are there women that usually come here? Are there women my size that come here? What days do they normally come? Do you even offer a women's class? Or, yeah, what days do they come so I can try and make those times? Does that work with my schedule? Um, so I would say asking those questions and then depending on their answer would be the green flag, because you don't want to go to a gym that's just predominantly male that are like 200 pounds and you're 100 pounds and you're just like, this doesn't translate. I don't know
Mhm.
how I'll be able to get better here. Um, red flags. What red flags? I would just say like a not well kept facility. There are some dingy ones that are, I understand, but like it's worth the investment. People are paying memberships here. Let's try to have a little bit better mats. Yeah, make the place comfortable for people to want to come. It's a gym, right? And there's going to be a lot of grossness happening, a lot of sweat, a lot of grime. Let's just keep that clean. Let's make sure that we're not spreading nasty stuff on these mats. So that cleanliness, that's a big.
Yes, I'm not sure if it's like we had a few girls come in and like all the guys had been fine, but I don't know if like girls were more susceptible to it, but getting a little like ringworm like within the first month. And like I was just like, damn, like that is so weird. Like, cause I managed to go over a year without getting any ringworm. And then I finally got my first one like close to my neck because I would try not to wash my hair all the time. But I didn't realize that I wasn't getting, all of it around. So what is your advice for girls to not let that stuff completely scare you away from doing jujitsu?
You can wear like leggings and long sleeves. That helps a lot, with preventing contact, that kind of contact. I think if it's something that happens once, just take care of it. Obviously, don't go and train. Let them know so they are aware that, hey, chances are I got it from here, from the gym. So let the staff know so they can either like ramp up their cleanliness, like their procedures, like, hey, who's the last person to clean the mats? Or let's make sure we're cleaning in between classes or something, right? If it happens more than once, definitely say something because there's someone that keeps coming, and they'll do it after at the end of class. Like we always take a class picture, and they'll have announcements, so the coaches will talk about it, especially when it comes to the summer. That's when that those things can start to become a lot more prevalent. So they always encourage like, hey, make sure you shower before you train. I don't want to see you coming from your construction work full of dirt and like grossness, and then you're getting on these mats. Like shower before you come, and I do too. Like I'll rinse my body off. Like I'll wash my body before going to train because yeah, you want to. You want to.
I like how you said, let the staff know, no pun intended, just let
That's
the staff.
hilarious. I'm so happy I haven't gotten that. By the way, I have gotten a ringworm too, just once, but
Yeah.
I'm afraid of staff.
Well, just on the UFC broadcast, or not the broadcast, the post fight conferences, like 3 fighters said after their fight that they had staph and they were like using it as an excuse that they didn't perform as well or something like that. I have to go back and quote that. I don't know why they exactly shared that they had it after the fact, but it's just so funny because it's like becoming, I think more maybe in the MMA world when you have like a fight that's a lot of money counted on it, people will kind of just continue training. But it is good to at least be aware of what ringworm looks like because sometimes people don't know what it looks like. Like I had a friend who literally had it on his face and I'm like, are you serious right now? Like that's literally in a circle. Like it's not, he thought it was an actual like bacteria worm. And I'm like,
Oh my god.
no, friend.
No, yeah, they tell you to if you have something on your skin, do skin checks. Check each other's skin. They'll tell you. And if you find something you don't want to know what it is, just come tell us. Like we've seen things enough times to know what it is.
I love that. And also, any advice for girls going to a gym and feeling like there might be a little bit of a mean girl dynamic, whether it's like an upper belt, maybe being a little bit of a bully to you, or just someone else in the gym giving you weird energy. How do you handle those situations?
Mm, I tend to just kind of steer clear of them. Luckily, that hasn't really happened. But there have been times where I'll be rolling with someone and she just like ripped the shit out of my ankle, and I was like, "Oh god damn!" I didn't say anything right then and there. I waited for the round to be over. I don't even think I said anything after the round. Uh, I just kind of didn't roll with her anymore because I didn't want to. Like, what are you gonna do? Judge me? Okay, I don't want to roll with you. I'm gonna get hurt. Like, it's not even that serious. We're literally just at an open mat. Like, don't rip my shit. Like, go into it
Yeah.
slowly. So, how do I approach these things? Uh, I would say maybe if this is your home gym, let it slide the first time. I feel like people often have bad days, and unfortunately, we meet them for the first time on those days, where they're just not as friendly or as talkative or whatever. Let that build. if you even want it to build. But I generally just kind of steer clear of people that I don't vibe with. It's
Yeah,
okay.
100%. And if anything, I always say just like kill them with kindness. If people want to come
Yeah.
back at you with like some other type of energy, that's 100% on them. Okay. And finally, I wanted to give you the floor for any sponsorships you're working with, anything you have coming down the line. Oh, and I did forget to ask you about your experience working with Master Ken. I feel like he's like on the level of Hanato Laranja. So how do you get set up with something like that? And what was that experience like?
It was just by chance, honestly. Like he just so happened to come by for main character jujitsu. Shout out to main character jujitsu. My homeboy Kamoy runs that. Um, so Master Ken came out for it, and I don't even know how or why. He was just asking, like, would you be interested in being some of my, sorry, would you be interested in partaking in some of my content? And I was like, absolutely, yes. And if I'm being completely honest, I didn't even know who he was. I had no idea who he was. Yes, until afterwards, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy is hilarious. Are you serious? Like, how did this even happen? So he just stayed for the citywide open mat the day after main character and just recorded some content. I just so happened to be part of it. So it was just all by chance. It was so awesome. He's hilarious. Everything he did was hilarious. And everything you saw was like on the fly. It was just, I don't know. It was just awesome. Awesome.
He's so funny. It's so hard to like react to the things he's going to say because it could literally just go everywhere, every which direction.
Yes, real reactions. I had no idea what this guy was about to do.
I love that. And finally, give a shout out to any teammates that have been helping you out, sponsors, or anything you have coming down the line that you want to share.
So for teammates, it has to be all the girls at 10 Planet. Everyone, down to my training partners. Like, because if they're not there, I would not be where I am. So huge shout out to all the girls at 10P Austin. And let's see, gotta give a huge shout out to Robles. They have sponsored me a lot in terms of all of my gear. I am working for them right now as their social media person. And shout out to, I just did some content with Fight Flicks. That was wild.
I
That
saw that. I like the AI.
I know, I had no idea. So crazy. These people are super talented. So very fortunate to be working with them. And anyone else? I think that's about it. If I forget anyone, I'm so sorry. But yeah, everyone in this community is just really welcoming, very awesome. I'm very fortunate to be where I am right now.
Thank you so much, Rocio. And I know a lot of people look up to you in terms of being that small athlete that still is a girly girl, but still knows how to protect herself and defend herself. So thank you so much for the time. And I'm excited for my YouTube followers to be able to check some of your stuff out because it's all super helpful and super cute, super aesthetic.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.